This video will contain spoilers. K-pop Demon Hunters, universally positive ratings. I watched it in the cinema. Eliza Koshy is not a fucking actress. Stop hiring her. Sung-won Cho is attempting to become one. For now, I'm gonna say no. You need to kind of quit YouTube. But you've got a great voice, so just please quit. That way you can actually become an actor. Daniel Day Kim. Also, Ken Jeong is. I didn't realize he was right there. His picture didn't move for some reason. This was a sing-along event, which I was kind of off-putting because I thought maybe they might mute the lyrics so that the people actually watching it can sing it, if you can call it singing, because this is a kids' film and the only people that are going to sing are the kids. Like, there are three types of people that went to see this film: kids, their parents, and me. I am not a kid. I am not a parent. I went to see this because it seemed based, but I'll get to that in a minute. My problem with the sing along thing is that it does encourage the kids to sing, but the problem is that these kids cannot sing. I went to Catholic primary school, and one of the things that they did was they had mass every Wednesday inside the school. All the kids were forced to sing, which the whole forcing thing is not good. But, like, shit. Sorry about that. If you couldn't tell by the audio, I'm outside in my car. I'm like, K-pop Demon Hunters just ended. I'm waiting until 3 o'clock for my next film to start. And I just thought, well, I've got an hour, I might as well do a review. But I think the problem with forcing everyone to sing, other than the fact that you're forcing them, is that 90% of people can't sing. You don't have the ability. Like, there are some people that are just naturally gifted and can sing really, really well. There are some people who can sing well after they've had lessons, which they did not offer us. And some people just cannot sing at all, no matter how many lessons you give them. So, don't make someone who can't sing sing. But going back to the film, the kids can't sing. But I can't remember what song it was. I think it was the second time Golden was playing during the bit, like just before the chorus. Like, I always thought the lyric was like something like "I'm free like a butterfly," but it turns out it's like something born to be. One of the kids had a voice crack because they just hit that high note way too high, and it's just, you would think that they would stop attempting to sing after that, but no, as a kid they don't learn. This film's kind of wasted being a kids' film, which, to be honest, is, you can say it about a lot of kids' films, because the basedness is lost on kids. They just see an entertaining film, and I see what is both an entertaining film and also a fuck you to Taylor Swift. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but you know, you have huntrix who are making these songs. They're putting their heart and their soul into it, and it's really fucking popular. But then these demons come along, and they just put out some soulless shit that they threw together in 5 minutes, and it overtakes Huntrix's music, and it's just it it's way too similar to Taylor Swift's music not to be like you can't not notice it, and it's just that's what makes it based. I thought I'd have a lot more to say about the film, but that's basically it. The animation is amazing because this is Sony Pictures. See, people made Spider-Verse. Um, the humor is really it's really good. Um, I got hit in the leg by a bit of popcorn, and I just think that was kind of weird because I didn't do anything. Like I sat down and I shut the fuck up. I didn't speak once during the film. I didn't sing or attempt to sing. I can't sing. Um, so like I thought it was an adult behind me that hit me, but it must have been one of the kids that were sitting. I was sitting to the right of the stairs because this is a screen that goes down, if you know what I mean. So I was sitting to the right of the stairs, which is only like 4 seats a row, and there was a whole bunch of kids. Um, Sorry about that. But I was on the right side of the stairs. There's only like 4 seats per row on the right side, and then shit ton of kids on the left side in the same row as me. They were getting up and dancing and shit, and it wasn't as distracting as I thought it was gonna be. But the fucking singing, like my ear hurts. Um, I'm guessing one of them threw the popcorn at me because I think this film has done the same thing to those kids that Minecraft did a lot of kids where just go crazy and start doing random shit. Imagine being an adult and rioting because you had a couple of pints in you, and compare that to being a kid and rioting because Jack Black said chicken jockey. I guarantee you that Instagram notification is going to be someone telling me to kill myself because I posted that I seen this with the caption based as fuck. Like, let me double check. I was right. Dylan had posted my story in the group chat and said, "One of the biggest virgins I have ever seen in my entire life." And I just said, "I seen absolute cinema." Like, oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry about that. I moved. I was gonna go to the same place. I did my one battle after another review, but that place is completely full. So I've gone to some fucking old people club. I don't actually know what this is, but it's empty. It's quiet. It's perfect. Dylan responded to what I said while I was driving. He basically just called me a nonce. Um, I just said, why why would they kick me out of my own house? Because we make jokes that I live in the cinema because I go there so often. And he called me a greaser. He didn't spell grease right. And I'm tired of the whole grease insult. Like, I used to put gel in my hair 5 years ago for only like 3 months, but people kept on saying, "Oh, you're putting grease in your hair, you're putting mayo in your hair," like that guy from My Strange Addiction or whatever the fuck it was. And 5 years later, I'm still getting those allegations, even though I don't do it anymore. But and I just said, "Oh, you spelled geezer wrong." But anyway, I don't think there's anything else to say. The film is based, so the fact that it's a PG is a bit of a shame. I get why they made it a PG, but it's just, you know, a massive chunk of the audience is like half my age. They're not going to get the full sort of context to it. And in fact, imagine being a fan of this and also being a fan of Taylor Swift. It's like it. I do similar things. I can't think of an example right now, but there will be. I love Blur. They're my favorite band. Song 2 is supposed to be a fuck you to Nirvana because Nirvana sucks. Despite that, I still do quite like Nirvana songs. I'm just gonna have to move on. Regretting You. Mixed ratings. I watched it in the cinema with Ginger and Dylan. McKenna Grace, Mason Thames, Alison Williams, Dave Franco, Scott Eastwood, Willa Fitzgerald, Clancy Brown. This character, Lexi, reminds me way too much of Aquafina. She's not in the film for that long, but when she is in the film, that's basically her whole character. And it's just, can we please stop writing characters like this? Because it's the same fucking thing every single time. And in the case of this film in particular, a lot of the times when she is joking, it's at times that it doesn't fit the tone of the scene. Like, you'll have some really emotional scene where, like, say McKenna and Allison are fighting, and then Lexi will try to like make a joke or something like that. It's just the timing is off. So please stop. But anyway, it was weird seeing Clancy Brown in this. I didn't know he was going to be in it. That's all I really have to say about him in the film. Give me a second. I already appreciated the hell out of Mason Thames. First from How to Train Your Dragon, then from Black Phone. Not so much from Black Phone 2, but this, once again, has increased my respect for him. He is turning into a great actor. Like, he could genuinely be the next Timothée Chalamet. Say what you will about Timothée, but he appears in a lot of things the way that he does because he's great. It's not a case of someone like, say, Pedro Pascal, where it's our fault because we memed him to death. But moving on. Dylan only wanted to see this film because McKenna Grace said he has a massive crush on her now that she's turned 18. It's a little creepy, I'll admit, but it is what it is. If you like sort of steamy romance things, you'll love this film because it's full of it. But that's all there really is to it. It's kind of like Grey's Anatomy. It's all steam, no substance. The whole thing of Willa and Allison's husband dying, and then finding out that they were having an affair with each other. That, I think, was quite good. Like, that had a bit of intelligence to it. But that's all you can really award the film for. Like, everything else is just your typical, not even rom-com, just your typical romance film, because the comedy in this is, it's not bad. It's just, it feels like it doesn't attempt at being funny a lot of the time. Like, it's, say most rom-coms are like 50-50, maybe 45-55. This film is like 30% comedy at best, and the rest is just sappy romance bullshit. And the problem I have with that is that I don't like romance films. There are some rare exceptions, like the Before trilogy, because I feel like films like that get romance right. La La Land got romance right. But films like this, Materialists and all, when they try to actually sort of break down romance, it just does not work, because you are a 4 out of 10 writer writing about a 9 out of 10 subject, if that makes sense. Like, you're not that guy, or in Colleen's case, girl. To be clear, I haven't read the book. Maybe the book's a lot different, but I don't know. The pacing of the film is completely off. Like, Dave and Allison start, well, I mean, with Dave it makes sense because he admits in the film that Allison has been the one for him for years. So that makes sense, but Allison sort of falling for him as fast as she did does not make sense. Like, let let her grieve and then let her feel love again. Don't make it immediate. That's all I really have to say about the film. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Universally negative ratings. I watched it in the cinema. Jeremy Allen White, Jeremy Strong, Stephen Graham, Paul Walter Hauser. Did not know Mark Maron is in this. I've been seeing Paul Walter Hauser everywhere. I mean, this year alone, he did this film, Fantastic Four, and Naked Gun. And then on top of that, I've been watching some older things that he coincidentally was in. Like, he's in season 2 of The After Party, and he was in I, Tonya. It's weird that Jeremy basically just, as far as I know, all he did that changed his appearance was put in brown contact lenses. But he looks so fucking different from that alone. I have no idea what it is. The film used to be like a 5.5 or something like that on IMDb, and now it's up to a 6.9, and it's just, I have never seen a rise that high. Like, usually what happens is that a film will come out and only a handful of people will see it, because some people might be working the day that it comes out and they need to wait until the weekend or whatever. So the ratings start off a lot higher. Like, when Matrix Resurrection came out, it was initially like an 8 point something, but then as more and more people seen it, it went down and down and down until what it is now. I'm assuming it's a 5 point something, which is a deserved rating. But I've never seen a film increase after more and more people have seen it, so that's very weird. As for what I thought of the film, this is one of the more weaker music biopics that I've seen in the past couple years. Like the Bob Marley film and Amy Winehouse were great. They really stick out in my memory. This doesn't. It had like it was pretty fucking good. Um, but then the second half just kind of it dropped off a bit. Didn't really feel complete. The whole point of the film was it was just supposed to be like in the couple of years before Born in the USA was released. But I feel like doing just that sort of made the film incomplete. So it doesn't need to tell his whole life story because they would either need to make things very, very short, like each sort of individual year, or the film would be a hell of a lot longer, which would make it worse. So this is probably the best we could get. It's just I think they were better off not making it, even though that deprives us of seeing another Jeremy Allen White project, and two, a Jeremy Allen White film where he is singing. You know. Also, this is he met Stephen Graham, which is kind of weird because the Baron boiling point. I'm gonna see what this DM is. It was not a DM. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about the film. Tonya, universally positive ratings. I watched it on BBC, I think, on Sky. Tonya Harding appears in the film for archival footage. Margot Robbie, McKenna Grace, Sebastian Stan, Paul Walter Hauser. Just putting this up there so I don't forget. The film's pretty good. I do like the whole sort of, I don't know what you would call it. It's kind of like the Scorsese style, where a scene will play out, and then a character will turn to the camera and sort of speak directly to the audience. It doesn't happen all that often. It's only like 3 times in the whole film, but I did quite like it. And then that on top of the documentary style of them interviewing everyone that was involved, I think was quite good. I was already aware of the Tonya Harding case before I seen this film because Marcus had made a video on it, and I didn't remember everything from the video, but so the whole plot of the film wasn't spoiled for me because I forgot what exactly it was they did to that girl. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. I find it weird that they cast McKenna Grace, who was 11 at the time, as the younger version of Tonya, and let's just assume that she was playing 11-year-old Tonya. And then it cuts to Tonya being like 15 or 16. And Margot Robbie's playing her. Margot was 27 when she did the film. And it's just like, I get Tonya looks old for her age, but I think they should have got someone that was actually like 16 or whatever, instead of just Margot Robbie with short hair. But moving on. The film is kind of confusing with the whole thing because they planned on just threatening that girl, but uh, my stomach's making weird noises. Excuse me. They planned on just threatening her, but Paul got his guys to actually like smash her fucking ankle in or whatever, and then Tonya is just saying to Sebastian, "Oh, did you know?" And he's like, "No, I didn't." And that I don't get it. Also, doesn't help that I'm recording this like I don't know how many days after I finished it. Speaking of, I haven't given an update on my health. Like my health, the whole thing that had been happening the past couple of weeks was the only reason why I watched this and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because I couldn't be bothered with gaming. But I feel fine. We went out for my birthday like last week. I'm recording this on a Saturday, and it was last Saturday that we went out. I felt terrible. Like we got dinner. I ate half of one bit of chicken, and bits of chicken were pretty fucking small. So it was a mistake going out. Um, and everyone was saying to me like, please call your fucking doctor when it gets to Monday. And Monday came, and I felt fine. Apart from some bad coughing, I felt fine. And I called the doctor, but they said, "Oh, it doesn't sound like an emergency. Call back tomorrow." And then I called back on Tuesday, and they said the same thing. And I didn't call back on Wednesday because I knew I'd be out all day, so there was no point. I forgot to call back on Thursday. I called back on Friday, yesterday, and the doctor said it could be something to do with my sinuses. So she gave me nasal spray. I already have that nasal spray because they gave me that a couple of years ago for my hay fever. I can't think of anything else to say about it, Tonya. It's a good film. Do recommend. Moving on. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014. Mixed ratings. I watched it on Film 4. Megan Fox, Alan Richardson, Johnny Knoxville, Will Arnett, Noel Fisher, William Fichtner, Tony Shalhoub. Did not know he was Splinter. Okay. Whoopi Goldberg. I don't think Greg Sipes is in it. I'm pretty sure. I'm guessing he is the voice of one of the turtles in the cartoon or whatever. Abby Elliott, apparently. Kiernan Shipka, apparently. Skeet Ulrich, apparently. Taron Killam, apparently. Derek Mears, apparently. David Leitch, apparently. This film does the same thing for me as Transformers, which is fucking nothing. The fight scenes weren't all that entertaining, and it's hard to see what's going on, although that could be because watching the Sky app on my iPad, it you can only watch it in like 360p, 480p, or yeah, it must be 480. So that could be why it was hard to see. They should watch this film as evidence that Alan Richardson should be Batman, because let's be honest. See, when it comes to Alan Richardson, looks don't like you already know he's perfect. My uncle made the argument that he's too buff. Like realistically, people would look at Bruce Wayne and then look at how buff he is, how buff Batman is, and figure it out immediately. Who the fuck takes pictures of Batman? You know, like, so, also, just, suspension of disbelief and all that. Point is that at this point, you're basically casting off of the voice, and he does a Batman voice at the start of the film. Like, it's his very first couple of lines. And it's great. So, I don't see anything wrong with him being Batman. I think it should be him. I struggle to tell which turtle's which. I know that Raphael is the red one because Alan. The only other thing I have to say about the film is that the scene where they're sliding down the mountain, that was a fucking amazing scene. Like, that was some Uncharted level stuff. So, as shit as the film is, watch it just for that. Because it was just that good. That's all I really have to say. Good Boy, mixed ratings. I watched it in cinema with Ginger. I was a little disappointed by the film, I'll be honest with you. I was expecting to be like a full horror thing, but it just wasn't. I was jump scared like once. Um but that was about it. I was expecting Ginger to say that the film was fucking awful, but he actually said he enjoyed it, which was surprising to me. And the same row as us were a couple of teenage girls that were just constantly they were on their phone all the time. They were just snickering at each other constantly, and it actually kind of reminded me when I watched Saltburn. But the difference between then and now is that it made sense during Saltburn because it's fucking Saltburn. Like, their reaction is valid, but if you're gonna sit on your phone the whole fucking time, what was the point in paying for the ticket? And I don't think they're old enough to drive, so getting your parents to drive you there or whatever. Just, why didn't you stay at home and save money? Anyway, I think the whole film is supposed to be like a sort of metaphor for cancer or something like cancer. I feel like the demon and shit wasn't actually real. It's just, you know, the the dog had the owner and they were inseparable for years and years, and then the owner gets diagnosed with cancer, but because it's a dog we're talking about here, he doesn't understand what all that means. And, the owner keeps on changing in his behavior and his looks, and the dog he doesn't understand, he doesn't know how to react. So he starts acting out. He starts seeing things, and I think that's what the whole film was about. I don't know. Thinking about it that way, it made the film more entertaining, but overall, it still is a pretty boring film. Like, this is only on for an hour and 10 minutes. It felt like a 2-hour film. Good Fortune. Next ratings. I watched it in the cinema with my dad. Directed by Aziz Ansari. Starring Keanu Reeves, Aziz Ansari, Seth Rogen, Kiki Palmer, Sandra Oh, Stephen McKinley Henderson, Joe Mandy, apparently. I don't get why my dad wanted to watch this. This doesn't seem like his kind of thing. It stars a brown man with a very Muslim sounding name. And my dad is very, very racist and very, very Islamophobic. I don't know if Aziz is Muslim or not, but my dad likes to make assumptions. So the fact he wanted to watch this film is surprising. I didn't ask his opinion of it, and he didn't give it. All he really had to say was that we had to watch this in Dundonald because Bangor didn't play it, and he used to exclusively go to Dundonald because he doesn't like driving to Bangor. But then we did have to drive to Bangor one day for whatever reason, and he realised how much better Bangor is. So it's the only thing. It's only when he goes to now. And then going from that to Dundonald, he just couldn't get comfortable, even though I shown him how to get comfortable because I know the tricks. He still wasn't comfortable because he nothing can ever please him. To be blunt, I wasn't really a fan of the film. It was alright. It was funny hearing Keanu give this whole speech about how, we shouldn't have to pay taxes because we earn that money and we should be able to spend it on chicken nuggies. The whole chicken nugget thing, it reminds me too much of, the whole Reddit slash 4chan thing of, there was a post, I think it was a green text, where it was like, oh, mommy wouldn't let me eat chicken nuggies, so I shit myself. And it's just, never fucking pick up a keyboard again. You know? It's weird seeing Kiki Palmer play the film straight. I thought she was gonna be Kiki Palmer. Because I already know that was gonna say a lot of things I can't say in this video. If she acted that way. That's all I really have to say. After the Hunt. Universally negative ratings. I watched it in Dundonald because also exclusive. Directed by Luca Guadagnino. Starring Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield, Weedy Berry, Chloe Savannah. I swear there's already a film called After the Hunt. I tried looking it up, but no, there isn't. I went into this film thinking it was gonna have the plot twist that Io actually did make up the whole thing of her being raped by Andrew. I seen this last week. I'm recording this on the 1st of November. I seen this on the 21st of October. So I can't really remember much, but I think what it is that Io got a little nosy and found out some information about Julia, about how she made up this thing of being raped. And that gives her the bright idea to do the same thing to Andrew. But her story about Andrew was believable because technically it did happen, but she just lied about the whole consent thing, I think, is what it is. You can tell that there's a bit at the end where Julia and Andrew start kissing, and Andrew is trying to take it further, but Julia says no, and eventually it escalates, and so the film seemed like it was gonna have some sort of message to it. Either believe all women or believe but still be skeptical. Like I thought it was gonna be like a, one way or the other, a 0 or a 1. Um, no, I don't know what to believe. The weirdest thing about it is that it cuts 2 years later, where I was like, um, she's successful. She is dating someone new. Um, Julia got promoted or something. I can't remember. And speaking of IO dating, she dates this non-binary person in the film, and I was just gonna leave it be. Like, she's dating a non-binary person, whatever. But when you actually meet the character, it's just like you're so fucking annoying. Dylan recently went to Liverpool because his girlfriend is at university there. His girlfriend's roommate is a trans man who just would not leave Dylan and his girlfriend alone. Like, so I always popped her head in and was like, "Hey, do you wanna watch Peacemaker? You wanna do this? You wanna do that? Please give me attention." And the I'm just gonna say girlfriend, I think it's kind of weird. Io calls herself a lesbian in the film, but she's dating someone that doesn't identify as a woman and has had the snip on, her feminine parts. Anyway, but it's just, I can't remember exactly what it was that Julia sort of pulled Io away from the girlfriend to have a few words, and Io slapped Julia, and then the girlfriend came running across and started shouting at Julia for whatever. And it's just, you don't have the full fucking story. Like, I get it's your girlfriend and you're trying to defend her, but it's just, fuck off. I should have made this review immediately after seeing it, because this could have been like a really, really long one. But unfortunately, I seen this the same day I seen Good Fortune. I was not driving. I was driven to the cinema, and then in between Good Fortune and this, I sat. They have like just a few seats in case you're really early. I just sat down and brought my earphones with me and I watched Blade Lights. So I couldn't have done it immediately. But it's been like 10 days or whatever. Like, I had so many opportunities to do this sooner. I just didn't. And I'm sorry for that. Even if I remembered everything, my film starts in 9 minutes, or at least the ads start in 9 minutes. I had the under 5 minutes before the ads start, so I gotta go.